look at this. Oh my God. I just think of the credits at the end of Halloween. The Shape, Nick Castle. Here are the black shirts. Now I have orders coming in. You know what's so bizarrely funny? Again, yes, this is an apology video ultimately, but let me just get to this real fast. I actually have the most ordered shirts I have so far are 3X. And I had one of those on the original order because I had 2 of those ordered on the white ones. Out of all the white ones I sold, I only had 2 of those ordered, 3X. So I just had one. This was a small order. So now I have to order a whole bunch of 3X. I'm going to get a whole bunch more 2X. I'm going to get some small and some medium. So, yes, if you want one of these shirts, shoot me an email first at bonzoleum@gmail.com. Sorry about the week or so. I got a bunch of emails. I didn't get back to anybody, which is crazy here. It's a long story. As you can see how my drums aren't set up? See how here in Bonzoleum Studios, everything's in disarray? Well, sometimes what happens is I just get a little seepage. The water table comes up. You know what I'm saying? So, regarding the show, the KASHMIR show that I played at 210 Live in Highwood went well. I thought I did pretty good. Apart from some glaring malfunctions, I steamrolled my way through the end of The Song Remains the Same. I kept going. For some reason, I just malfunctioned. I thought there was a little more left in the song. No quarter. I totally spaced out on the first part before the vocal comes in. I didn't come in with the drums because I was so dehydrated that I was getting water, and suddenly I realized we were in the song at the point where the drum should have come in. I looked, and the Robert Plant, God love him, Keith, he was standing there. He was looking at me like, God, he's a good dude, man. Anyway, so I thought the band did really well. Thought I did a pretty good job. My stamina was really good. My new approaches to rock and roll at the beginning, I did do rock and roll at the beginning, are working. I think what has happened is I got old. So, but anyway, regarding, I know, listen, man, men and women, ladies and gentlemen, dogs and cats living together, I made a terrible mistake. I brought my new apparatus, okay? I told you I used a file to file this baby out. By the way, Wally, I do got to get your file back. I'm sorry. I'll send that today. So I set it all up. I brought my a stand, the stand that camera's on, an extension cord, my Apple charger. I was going to use my Apple phone, my iPhone. And I set it up. I had it all ready to rock. I recorded me very briefly at the beginning, sort of setting up. And wouldn't you know it, I did not hit This is like the dog ate my homework. I did not hit record. I am sorry. I know a lot of people are like, what the? You know what I'm saying? I am sorry. I did not hit record. I got to, how many more times? So we're blasting through it. No, Wanton Song. We're jamming out Wanton Song. I look back at the camera. I was kind of like, I was going to kind of give one of these like, and I realized I didn't hit record. And I was like, I felt like standing up and saying like, stop the ride. Let's do it again. Let's do the last 32 minutes again. So I'm sorry, but there's good news. It worked, okay? So this system, what I'm going to do is when we play this party, June 23rd at Evanston, I'm going to record it. You can, if I do not record, I'm not even going to say, I'll record the June 23rd show. I just hope people can forgive me because I know I'm a rat bastard. You know what I mean? I need like an aspiring videographer in the Chicago area to be like, Terry, I'll do it for free, and any profits we have from the video will split evenly. Fine with me. So I'm really sorry. I am just a total skull. But so the Chicago Drum Show was just the other day. So 2 days of Chicago Drum Show. Well, wait, let me tell you more about the gig. So it was pretty. Sorry, this seat's a little treacherous. Where's my coffee at? So I got a couple interesting things. Hang on. It was brilliant. The show was kind of cool. So it was up in Highwood, which is just north of Highland Park. Played Frank's drums. Remember the Band Kings, the Jimmy Page's drums, which are great drums, man. Remember, somebody made those. Somebody in Indiana made those drums out of their own molds and everything. So now what I have is my 16 is almost together. There was something I had to straighten out on my 16. But I'm going to have that baby set up and ready to rock, and I'll be playing then my drums at the show. Another quick piece of information. There's a fella that asked me on Facebook. He wanted to convert his Ludwig Amber, like modern Ludwig Amber 26, Bonham machine, which, remember, they don't come drilled for anything. They're virgin bass drums. So he was going to put on the rail consulate and the shell-mounted cymbal holder. Remember the way I do. If you want to look up, I use the old late 50s, early 60s Ludwig rail consulates because the way they were installed, they weren't designed to be taken off and put on all the time, but they used to just have, by the way, manufacture bolts through the banana on each side, okay? And then those were secured by nuts underneath. So, but the bananas themselves, not the bananas, the brackets themselves that held it in were also threaded, and they're a high-grade steel, so you can just abandon the nuts that support the thing underneath, and you can remove, you can make the banana itself, the strap, well, that's not the strap, the banana, the rail, modular. So you just screw it on. What you do is you get the banana, get your strap in the desired position, play the show, take the tom off. When you're done, just remove the banana. I did pitch this idea to Ludwig and to Steve Maxwell. God love him. Maxwell's I'll tell you, man, Maxwell is a good man. Have you ever seen that guy's technique? I swear to God, I met Maxwell, I remember he wouldn't remember this, but I remember at the show, he was like it was before his stores and everything. He was always a huge Rogers aficionado, and there's this dude standing there. He looks like he's a philosopher that works for like University of Chicago. He does, if you look at him, and he's sitting there in his traditional grip, and he was playing on a Dynasonic somebody had. This is at the old barn, like in Kane County, like 20 years ago. And I'm watching this guy's technique, man. He's like very Morello-y, very impressive, Mr. Maxwell. So. Remember, Maxwell makes reproductions of the original Ludwig 4-point rail, and he sells it. You get the rail and the strap and a couple different bananas well, not bananas, for $140. I think that's a pretty good deal, man. Anyway, or they used to be $140. So anyway, so the drum show was cool. I saw Randy Rainwater, wonderful guy, lives in Rockford. He's a renowned collector. In Randy's secret drum lair, which looks a lot like the set they used in Silence of the Lambs. The basement, I guess the house too. No, he lives in this house he probably bought like 20 years ago, which is like a house that had been, probably was a small sort of settlement house that was built upon and built upon and built upon. You go in this, it's like a movie set. It's oak. It's old, you know what I mean? And he's spending time restoring it. But in the basement, there's a labyrinth of like different like rooms. Some are poured concrete, probably from the 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s, but other ones are like stone and mortar. Okay, but like it looks, the whole house looks like a set, man. It's really cool. Randy's the coolest guy in the world. He invited me over, as he does for a lot of people, to like beer and brats the Thursday before the show, and he's apparently had like 900 pounds worth of bratwurst that everybody scarfed down. God, I wish I could have gone, but what did I have to do Thursday night? I couldn't go. I was pissed. I really wanted to go, but I couldn't go. I know I was shitting a brick over the gig coming up that was on Saturday. But anyway, so the drum show was cool. I saw Kat and Mike and Nate and my friend Ryan and Keith and Joe and Joe and various Joes. Who else did I see? I saw Derek floating around there. I didn't get a chance to say hey to him though. Who else did I see? God, you know what happens here is you leave somebody out and they're like, you know what? The Carringtons. God, the Carringtons. Those guys are studs. I didn't realize that there was no consignment. So I brought some stuff in, and the Carringtons were nice enough to sort of park it at their booth for a while. I did see somebody was selling, and it was there for a few hours. When I got into the show, it was an hour or two after, and there was a pretty badly pitted 6.5 by 14 Supraphonic for $125, and it was a Chicago badge. It was the big, it was pre-Monroe, so it was the big badge. $125, man. I should have bought it. And I was standing next to somebody like, yeah, it's a little too pitted for me. And I remember thinking to myself, like, yeah, but it's $125. Sure enough, went back, somebody had swiped it right up. What else? There were a bunch of cool things there. Anyway, it was neat. It was out at the Odeum in Villa Park. So what else? God, who else did I see? I saw... Joe another Joe who also came to the show. Joe came to the show. This is a shout out to Joe. Hey, bro. No, so Joe came to the show up in Highwood, met this fella from Long Island, wonderful guy. And he taped some of this. See, there are some people that did use their phones to tape some of the show. So I'm going to try and get that video from Joe. I got to figure out how to do it. Maybe he'll send it via Dropbox or something. But I can also send him one of those little sticks. He can maybe load it on there and get it back to me. And I could post that. But again, my goal is to start recording if I can get now that my system works. All my shows, like turn to the camera and be like, hey, everybody, here comes rock and roll. And oh, boy, look at how tired I am. Oh, let's celebrate. You know, that kind of thing. So it was a nice weekend. The drum show at the Odeum and the gig, the KASHMIR gig. So I have the KASHMIR gig coming up, the Led Zeppelin tribute band KASHMIR. Oh, my God, and do not forget about May 31st. This is a week from Thursday at the Metro in Chicago. It used to be called the Cabaret Metro. There's the John Bonham 70th birthday bash. Gosh darn it. At the Metro. I think it's 3730 North Clark, just north of Wrigley Field on Clark Street. Yes, the original Clark Street in Chicago. And Metro, where all sorts of bands made their bones all through the 80s, 90s, 2000s. I'm going to fall right off this. And so it's there. Led Zeppelin 2 is hosting it. Greg Fundus, the Led Zeppelin 2 drummer, a renowned drummer. George Flutis will be there. George and I, Afro Zepp guy, I can't remember the names. Matt Walker. There's like 4 other dudes. I'm sorry, I can't remember the dudes' names because I just have a bad memory and I'm going to be 49 years old. But it'll be great. May 31st, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Oh, my God. It'll be awesome. So you got to come out. So that's coming up. And then, what else? But there was another thing, though, I wanted to announce. Oh, I played the cymbals I brought to the Led Zeppelin tribute gig I did, the KASHMIR gig at 210 Live in Highwood this past Saturday night, which was May 19th. I had my 18-inch medium thin. I know Peisty guys. I'm a Peisty guy myself. But remember, I'm a good-sounding cymbal guy ultimately. But what I did was I did have my 24-inch Giant Beat multi, which was wonderful. And I had my custom 15-inch Sound Edge hats, the idea of which I pitched to Peisty to make 15-inch, well, 14-inch Sound Edge Giant Beat hats. But also, too, even if they don't want to go through the trouble of making a Sound Edge bottom, just use a 2002 Sound Edge bottom paired with a Giant Beat 15-inch top or 14-inch top. And they sounded marvelous. They were terrific. So I recommend anybody to do that. Get yourself a pair of 15-inch Giant Beat hats, reissue hats. Get yourself a Sound Edge bottom. I don't care if it's Red Label, Black Label, or any other label. Or indeed, any 15-inch Sound Edge bottom. God, you can probably use a man. Anyway, so what I brought was my 18-inch S-Series, Zildjian S-Series, B12 alloy. Remember, they're lower down the peg. Zildjian finally got it right with their... It's a long story of what I've said about Zildjian and Sabian using B8 alloy. Remember, Peisty knows B8. If you want B8 alloy cymbals, go to Peisty. After that, go to Meinl or Mainl. Okay? Then again, it's, you know, even like Zildjian and Sabian's and other companies' lower line, like the B8 alloy stuff they use. Remember, Zildjian and Sabian don't really do anything with B8 except their beginner stuff. It'll still sound good, okay? But with Peisty, B8 alloy is like... You know what I'm saying? So I brought my 18-inch medium thin, which is about 1,412 grams, 18, Zildjian S, medium thin crash, and to my right was my 20-inch Zildjian S thin crash. And that, I'm telling you, that thin crash is like, it's like, I don't even think it's 1,800 grams, man, a 20, and they were marvelous. They were glorious. Anyway, I just want to make this video real fast. A heartfelt apology, and I mean it, and I'm serious here. When I forget to do stuff like this or I mess stuff up, I'm kind of a melonhead, okay? I'm really sorry I didn't record this gig. I told everybody I was going to do it. I really honestly do, apart from the fact I take my fandom, I really appreciate my fans or anybody that watches my video. And I mean this very heartfelt. I'm really sorry I didn't. I was devastated when I looked over and I realized I wasn't recording. I wish I'd had, because I think I played pretty well on some stuff. Anyway, more videos on the way. Again, if you want the Bonzoleum shirt, scrolling down at the end of Halloween, the movie. These are $20 shipped, okay? because they were a little more expensive. Remember, I'm not a, there are places online that'll sell t-shirts for like $12 shipped, and I think they're pretty much the same Gildan shirt. Remember, those folks are buying those things in like 5,000 quantities, okay? And they're silk screening themselves. I'm not silk screening myself down here. So anyway, $20 ship. Shoot me an email at bonzoleum@gmail.com. Email me first before you pay me, because something will get lost in the shuffle. And there's another thing too. Anyway, so I hope everybody is good. I have Peisty Bob back soon with more Peisty symbol stuff. I'm going to be making a couple videos at George's next week. Remember, check out Bonzology. George is cranking out the videos on Bonzology. And don't forget about, the May 31st, Led Zeppelin 2, the John Bonham 70th birthday party coming up a week from Thursday at Metro in Chicago. Thanks for watching. More videos on the way.